Hello, hi, my name is Wake. I am an award-winning word weaver. I am a rapper, I am a music producer, and I serve at Worship Harvest Makerere. And for purposes of this conversation, I am the founder, team leader, and lead facilitator at the Word Weavers Academy. Word Weavers Academy is a space for poets, spoken word artists, writers, basically anyone that is gifted with words. It's a space for them to share knowledge, share experiences, and grow together. So today, I'm going to share with you the journey of the Word Weavers Academy. How did it start? How did I get to a place of founding such a thing? And I'll take you back, all the way back to the 1900 agreement, Uganda agreement. No. It's about maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I had an urge to teach. And that urge was from a place of I'd done this poetry, spoken word thing for a while. I had achieved some form of success in, as one may call it, and there had been people that had been reaching out to me. So younger poets would reach out to me and say, hey Wake, how do you do what you do? Teach me how to do ABC. And so all those things brought me to a place where I started getting the idea of teaching, of how can I effectively share this knowledge and not just have a one-off with one person, but have like a comprehensive way to share the knowledge with even more people. But I did not know exactly how that was going to be because I had zero experience teaching. But I think around maybe still 2-3 years ago, I got to meet Paula and Teesa. There was a project that I was supposed to work on, that I was supposed to be on, but I won't say unfortunately because I think that was God bringing us together, because I met Paula through that project that I didn't get to do, but I met her. And so from meeting her is when I started getting to know Teesa, to know Paula, and to even get an idea of these people who do this building of curriculum professionally. And so there's people out there who can help you teach, basically. So maybe after like 1 year or a few months, I sort of get the courage to call Paula, because again, the desire is keeping me awake at night. It's keeping me awake at night. So I pick up my phone. I remember where I was when I made the phone call because I was nervous, It's like Paula is Paula and then me making the phone call. How am I going to do it? But I made the phone call and shared with her the idea and the desire for me to teach. And she was very excited. She was very open to it. I was lucky that the time I called, she was in a space where she was like, her heart was open to serving people and helping people to teach. So that was great. We made plans, but for some reasons our schedules weren't able to align in that season because we're doing school and all that, so it just didn't align. But later on, we were able to meet. We had some initial meetings. We had a meeting at Motive, I remember, where Paula was just trying to understand who I am and what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to teach, and this whole conversation of teaching and my dream and my vision and just so many questions. She came with questions. Paula was a questionnaire in that initial meeting, but it was great. I had some answers, and some answers I did have. And then we had a follow-up meeting. So she set up a meeting with another team member of hers, Faith, and we met at Endiro. And this was the initial meeting where we actually then started to talk about the curriculum and the teaching bit of the thing. And still again, that meeting was just a series of questions because they really have a gift of squeezing information out of you. Like they will squeeze it out of you. So they probe questions and they had pen and a notepad. So I would go off on a rant and they'll just keep writing and bring all those many thoughts that I was just churning out, and they'll bring them into context. And it is actually from that meeting that the word weavers was coined, because it never existed before, at least in my mind. But I think it was Paula who said, you're like, this thing is going to be called the Word Weavers Academy. And then it clicked in my mind. I was like, that's it. It's called the Word Weavers Academy. So from that initial meeting, we sort of had an understanding of what the curriculum is about, what it's going to be about, what we're going to teach and what. So it was very exciting until they sent me an invoice. So Teesa does this professionally, so they charge. And yeah, I knew, but faith was leading me. My faith, not you guys get the point. But so I didn't have the money, and that was sort of like a hiccup in the process because, like I said, they charged, but I didn't have the money. And I was open to them about my situation and my passion to teach, but my inability to pay upfront. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful because when I opened up, they didn't chase me away. They didn't say, please, we won't have you. Go and look for some sponsorship elsewhere. No, they actually let me in, and Paula sort of came up with such an incredible way for me to be able to build a curriculum with Teesa and still be able to give some form of value to Teesa. But now here's the thing. So I remember the argument was I was supposed to be a learning designer, I think. But if you think about it, I was benefiting like twice, because the whole process of being a learning designer, I was in different spaces with different people. Yeah, we ate food in certain cases. So, but like that, just being a learning designer and sitting in sessions with people who want to create courses, it was mind-blowing for me because I was going to create a course. So we sat with a couple of people, and Paula was actually tasking me to help people build their course, which was like, what? And she was all the time, she was like walking with me and guiding me, and which for her was like value to Teesa, but for me I was like, this is incredible value even for me, even before we build a curriculum. Yeah, so I was able to serve with Teesa in that period of time, and we had an understanding of, if I serve with Teesa and help other course creators build their courses, then mine can be built also in-house. So that was really, thank you Paula, thank you for such an incredible initiative to help people like me who didn't have the money at that point. So we jumped that hurdle, the money hurdle, and we went into creating a curriculum. The stages were I had to collect data, I had to collect information, I had to have an understanding of who are you trying to reach, what schools are they in, what kind of people are they, can they pay? So there was just a season where I had to collect information. Again, this was because Paula was pushing me to do these things, right? Because in my natural habitat, probably not. I wouldn't go to schools and quiz students about what they like about poetry and what. But we collected information. I collected the information. I had to go to the schools. I had to make phone calls just to get an understanding of what it is. And truth be told, it was actually eye-opening when I went to the ground and collected this information, because it gave me an understanding of what the need is then for me to be able to create value. So it was very, very eye-opening. Collected the information, presented it, and I thought Paula was going to give me a curriculum. I thought she was going to take the information, work her magic, and present me with the curriculum. But behold, I had to come up with a curriculum. So the process is the person that is going to teach the curriculum comes from you, which I think is an incredible thing, because the curriculum becomes authentic because it has come from you. You know how to teach it, you know the loopholes, you know where your mind was when you were thinking about what is on the curriculum. So I think that's an incredible way to do things. So the process was, we had a couple of meetings, online meetings. I remember an online meeting where we sort of came up with module 1 and module 2 and module 3. And the process is really still probing. Paula asks questions, they get the questions out of you. Then as you talk, they just help you compartmentalize the things into modules. So module 1, module 2, module 3, or this could be an incredible key point, or maintain this as an example, or maintain this as an insight. And from that meeting, the curriculum sort of started coming. We created a Google Doc that I had to keep updating, and Paula would monitor and help along the way. And it was a hectic period of time, I won't even lie, because there was this one time we met at Avoda, and Paula was like, we are not leaving this room until this curriculum is done. So I think we left like at 10:30 in the night, just brainstorming and throwing things at the whiteboard, not throwing with ideas. We didn't throw any physical things at the whiteboard. You guys get the point. Yeah, so we built the curriculum, and finally there was a document that the Google Doc was populated, and the curriculum had modules, it had an auxiliary curriculum, we had come up with workbooks, we had come up with lessons. It was a detailed and well thought through curriculum. So that was a great phase. But lo and behold, there was a phase of selling, right? So here's the thing, when I reached out to Paula, her main concern to me was that many times she would help people, she would serve people and help people build curriculums, or take on people who have this fire to teach. But then when they start the process of building the curriculum, there's really no energy from the people to then take the curriculum to sell it or to give value to the people. And so her concern was, if we create this curriculum, make sure you actually sell it. So make sure it actually reaches the people. So the process of selling was a whole other eye-opening one for me. I remember Paula asked me to come up with a list of people, have like all your contact lists, everyone in your contact list, you have to contact them. They have to buy the course. Come up with people who you want to teach, reach out to them, come up with lead magnets. I don't think I'd heard about anything called a lead magnet. But she sort of, again, put pressure on me to make these sales. Even when we had our first Twitter space as the World Weavers Academy, that was Paula on my neck of like, before your course, make sure you have a Twitter space, which is like a lead magnet to sort of share a bit of what the curriculum is about to the public to get them to buy, which was an incredible way to do it. And yeah, so we were able to do some of those things. I remember the goal was to shoot and record digital content of me teaching, right? So come up with the modules and come up with a curriculum and then shoot audio video content for that curriculum and then sell it online. So it can be readily accessible on the Teesa platform. So that was the goal. But again, financial constraints were constraining. And so there was a period of time where the course was ready, but the finances were not financing. So again, the team at Teesa really did their best to see how can we shoot within what budget, who can we bring on board, how can the Teesa team support. So that was really incredible support from Teesa. But here's the thing, so as a learning designer, again, I was in the room many times with other course creators, assisting Paula to assist them with their course. So there was this one meeting that we had. I remember it was an online meeting with one of the course creators where there was just this incredible idea that came. I think it was either Paula or the course creator that came up with it, but the idea was, as we wait for the resources to shoot the content, let's just start teaching online. And it clicked in my mind that this, I mean, it's what, yeah, you get, because you have the curriculum, you are available to teach, just start teaching. The platform is available, Teesa platform is available. Just start teaching, teach a curriculum. And it was so freeing because there was a point where I felt like this thing is not going anywhere because I don't have money to shoot the teaching of the curriculum. But that idea of teach online was really eye-opening because it didn't require me to have a lot of money. I just needed to have a really powerful phone and a good camera and a good internet connection. And yeah, I taught. So I was able to jump that hurdle also because then we had a way to start. We had a way to start. So even just that was a great initiative, but there was processes that we needed to go through. So designing artwork, creating momentum, it was a hectic period of time, even just launching the first ever spoken word mastermind. So that's how the first ever Word Weaver spoken word mastermind comes about. It was Paula pushing me to start. So here's the thing, at some point I got cold feet because I didn't want to start. I remember telling her, I don't know if people will buy. Will people buy? Should we wait for students to come back for holiday? I don't know if people will buy this thing. Paula just told me start. Like, just don't waste my time, start. Yeah, so we set a date and I had to make sure that date works. So August 13th, 2024 was the first day of the spoken word mastermind, and I remember being in that class thinking, wow, it's actually happening. Like it's actually happening. So we had sign-ups. Now here's the thing, I was blown away by just by the response of the people, because we had over 40 sign-ups. This is our first ever spoken word mastermind. Over 40 sign-ups from 4 countries. So we had people from Uganda, we had people from South Sudan, we had someone from South Africa, and we had someone from Kenya. I remember seeing the sign-ups and seeing the country codes and Googling the country codes because I was like, excuse me? I thought there would only be Ugandans buying this thing. And it was a South African. So when I taught the first time, or when we had that first session of the Word Weavers Mastermind, it was surreal. It's like I couldn't believe that this thing was happening. And none of this would have been possible without Teesa, without Paula. It was a long journey with Paula of just cajoling me, rebuking me at some points, encouraging me at some points, praying for me at some points, giving up on me at some point, then coming back at some point. It was, yeah, and I'm sorry, Paula, because I probably think I'm one of the could be one of the most hectic person you had to deal with, but she was patient with me. She believed in me. She took a chance, really a wild chance, because there was no reason why she should have been even, buying my idea of creating this course. So we did that mastermind, and from the testimonials of the students who did that mastermind, some of them are on our social media platforms. You can go and check them out. It was surreal, because it was an idea in my head that seemed impossible to execute because of how huge it was. But here was a team of people that helped me break it down into chewable bits for people to get value out of it. So I had people in my inbox telling me, thank you for this spoken word mastermind because it has taught me ABC and D. Thank you for this because it has opened my mind to ABC and D. I didn't know that I could use AI to write my poetry. I didn't know this AI tool. We networked, and so there's just so many opportunities that opened up from me teaching that mastermind. And none of it would have been possible without Teesa. So the mastermind concludes, and just a period of time from inception of the idea of teaching to the time the mastermind ended, I became a different person. From interacting with Paula, from being a learning designer and sitting in certain rooms with certain people, and just seeing how, say, Paula works or how Teesa works, and just how professional people are. It really changed my mind. It opened my mind. I keep telling Paula that I became a different person in that season. I sort of stepped up, I stepped up, and I started dreaming for Word Weavers Academy. So what more could I do? How can I add value, beyond just the spoken word mastermind? Even as we wait for money to shoot digital teaching material, which is going to happen at some point. So Word Weavers Academy now is a full-scale teaching space with so many initiatives. The Twitter spaces are monthly. You remember where the Twitter spaces started? It was Paula with her chiboko of, you need to sell. But now we have Twitter spaces. We recently concluded one about writing with AI that received such a huge response. We had one about, the first one was about exposure and platform. It had a huge reception, and we're planning many more. So that's one of our initiatives. And then the second one, now we are planning school tours. So we are partnering with schools to actually take the mastermind to the schools, to take professional poets and spoken word artists and word weavers to schools, such that they can then share the information with the students. And that is just incredible. We've been able to do 2 schools so far. And just the feedback from the students, because the course, the way they help you teach the course is you teach you, like you teach your experience. And I think that is realer than any syllabus. No shade to any syllabus out there, because if I'm teaching you me and my experience, it's tangible things that I have gone through, tangible things that I have experienced, and so it's real. But also the mastermind is able to help the student not just to study the things for studying sake, but to be able to, say, make money or create value from their craft. So the value that the reception of the teachings in the schools and the sessions we had with some of the schools was very, very incredible. You could tell that the students were inspired. It's like there was just a drive in them to say, how can I do this thing and how can I start this thing? Yeah, so that is the other initiative, the school tours. We are planning to do over 50 schools in this year. And then we also have like a slam, an online slam, where students can compete, with their word weaving gifts and win some prizes. And now the mastermind is going to be twice every year, so it's going to happen twice every year. The dream is to set up a physical location for the Word Weavers Academy and actually have people who are passionate about songwriting, word weaving, spoken word, poetry, comedy, whatever word weaving gift it is, podcasting, radio presenting, etc., being a PRO, branding, whatever it is. The dream is to set up a physical school where such people can get real knowledge or real experiences from other people to help them on their journey. So that has been the journey. It has been such a blessing for me. I've told Paula that she has been, and she still is, such a blessing to me, because I see who I have become, which is the most important thing for me. The person I have become today, I wouldn't be this person if I hadn't met Paula, if I hadn't gone through that process of creating the course and being equipped to turn the course into a business venture, turn the course into an impactful venture. Yeah, I'm a different person because of that experience. But also, I call Paula Mama Word Weavers because there was no word weavers, it was just Wake, trying to, share poetry and share, his experience. But then Paula and the team at Teesa were able to help me put that into compartments that I can replicate, that I can scale, that I can, like now we're trying to teach teachers. So to do something at such a scale, I did not have the capacity to do so. So whatever Word Weavers Academy is today really comes from Paula and the team at Teesa and helping us build the course, So if you have anything that you want to teach, if you have a calling, if you have a gifting that you want to share with the world, I encourage you. Many times it can seem like there's so many things that you want to cover, there's so many possibilities, and there's just so much energy that it can overwhelm you at some point, and you think maybe, I cannot do this because it's just too much. I encourage you to contact Teesa, to get in touch with Teesa, and just sit under Teesa, and you're going to be able to teach. They will help you break down whatever it is that you're trying to teach, and it can be, let me tell you, it can be anything. I sat in sessions with people teaching the most random, quote unquote, random thing, where you think, what? I didn't think that could be taught. So it can be anything: how to polish shoes, how to comb hair, how to cross the road. You can build a course as long as you see that there's value that you could add in that area. Teesa can help you teach, can help you put that into some form of curriculum. So they have books. I know that Paula has a book that can help you. Like if you read the book, you can get the information. Yeah, so don't feel like you don't have support. You do have the support, and so you have no excuse. So reach out to Teesa and they will help you record. That has been the story. You can follow Teesa online, you can follow the Word Weavers Academy online, and may God bless you guys, and see you when you see me.